Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To level up.
Okay, girl, let's get started. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Welcome to another episode of our Girl Boss Month.
Woohoo!
If you haven't been keeping up with our podcast, A, you should. And two, just a quick update. We are dedicating the month of April to girl bosses and celebrating women. So for the month of April, Alysha and I will be having guest stars on our podcast. I don't think it's an audience.
Yeah.
But we'll be having strong, inspiring females on our podcast to talk about their stories, and we'll be talking about various topics. So on today's episode, we have a really special person. This is actually Alysha's sister-in-law,
Yes.
which is her husband's sister.
But more like my sister.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And her name is Rimpy.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining us on our podcast.
We're so excited to have you on and for you to share your journey with our audience.
I'm very excited too. Thank you.
She's also nervous, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Every guest is.
Yeah, every guest is nervous, but that's okay. So we'll start off by telling you a little bit about Rimpy. So Rimpy's actually 28 now. You just turned 28, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so she's a little Pisces.
Oh, you are. So is Tim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All these March babies. So yeah, Rimpy's the youngest in the family. So, you know, it's my husband and then his brother and then Rimpy. So she's the baby. Yeah. And Rimpy's actually the only person I connected with when I first met its immediate family. She was my constant calm throughout everything, throughout all the wedding stuff, throughout like, you know, meeting the family and like knowing what to do because I'm married into a more traditional family. So she just kind of like guided me through everything. And I felt like I was okay if Rimpy was always there.
Yeah.
Like if I was in the room with the family and I was alone and I wasn't here, if Rimpy was there, that's all that mattered.
Thank God you did have that.
I know. I needed that.
We talk about it all the time that like Alysha's in-laws come from a bit more of a traditional family.
Yeah.
Versus Alysha's family who's, you know, completely different culture, lifestyle. So I feel like if you didn't have Rimpy, the challenge would be just
the mistakes I would
make.
The basting, the reputation. So basting means like, you know, when you are embarrassing
yourself.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I'm very thankful to have Rimpy in my life. And then she was the sister I never had. You know, I always wanted a sister. And I, like, you know, never had, like, one girlfriend constant throughout my life. When you have that one best friend, you're like that, too. We're both like that. We have friends for all different needs of our lives and different bonds and relationships. So Rimpy was finally that complete I needed in my life. And
she's filling the sister shoes.
She did. So I was very, very lucky to have a little sister that I could teach and mold and,
and mold.
Give fashion sense, too.
Yeah, she's taught me a lot.
So kind of, like, jumping right into what you mentioned, that Rimpy, you grew up in a bit more of a traditional family versus Alysha. So how was that? Like, and being a sister of two older brothers, right?
My family, I would say we were more like old fashioned. I was a bit of a unique character. We grew up in Toronto and we lived in a big family. My grandparents, my two older brothers, my parents. Yeah, they were old fashioned. It was interesting. I thought I was going to have a typical childhood. And I did. I always thought like, growing up, it was going to be more like, I'm going to finish school, get married, have kids. No, but that did not happen.
No. That's what I have to say that like all us, like whoever did grow up in a traditional family, and even probably you to some extent, Alysha, we were all told the same thing, like school,
then get married.
Not school, kids.
Wow,
like, school, work, marriage, kids, then live.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. No, it wasn't like that for me because I have a bit of a unique story, and I'm happy to that you guys brought me on because I do want to share something very important.
Yay!
It has more to do with a mental disorder. Mm-hmm. That's why that kind of interfered in my life, that I didn't get to finish school on time or get married on time, but I don't mind at all. So what actually happened was when I was like 18, 19, I got diagnosed with anxiety, panic disorder. I had really bad phobias, but I recovered.
Yes.
And I'm very happy where I'm at today. But just getting back to the phobias and stuff.
So how does one, because I've actually always wondered this, like people are so aware of the mental disorders that you can physically see from the outside, but not so much of the ones that people can't see, right?
Yeah.
So how does one come to find out that like you have
And
the
also, I just
disorder?
want to touch base there.
Yeah.
Your disorder is not the reason why you didn't finish school on time or anything else. You did finish school.
It was just high school. That's the furthest I had made it to at that time.
Yeah.
At that time. I didn't know I had it. It's just what happened was I was sitting in class and I started like freaking out. Like my heart was racing. I started sweating and I just thought like I was going to die. It was
It's
very
like overwhelm of emotion.
Yeah, and then I Googled it, and that's when I found out that these are anxiety and panic symptoms.
Right.
I spoke to my mother. I started getting help, but for some reason, whatever was triggering the panic disorders, I kept on running away from it, and that's what made it worse. That's how it developed into phobias. Eventually, I started becoming claustrophobic, so I got scared of classroom settings.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then eventually I started getting scared of being home alone because I felt claustrophobic. I kind of that time I lived in the middle of nowhere as well, and I didn't know anybody because we had just moved.
So your life went up and changed completely.
It did. Yeah, for sure.
Because leaving Toronto, you had a lot of family that's right. So they lived in Toronto where they had like cousins down the street. She had her Mustang down the street. They were all in like one area. Her grandparents were down the street.
Yeah.
And then they uplifted all the way to the boonies, which was like which is Ajax now. And back then Ajax was still developing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of land. So I can understand that. Like I get that. Your whole life upshifted when you were just about to start your adult life. And it's like, I just finally figured out life. I finally just made a group of friends and now here I am going into a whole new place and I have to start all fresh. And I know you're not as outgoing at first, and I know you're more of an introvert, and I know Ahmed and Manisha are very
outgoing.
Yeah, they're extroverts. So it's kind of hard because they'll adapt like this to wherever they're going, and they had cars and they were older and they had their own life. And then poor Rimpy was like, well, I had friends and I
have to
cousins.
get my license. Here's another story where I couldn't get my license on time because we had to go in class and I was scared of classroom settings.
Okay.
And it's like that time I kind of also didn't really know what panic is. I wasn't really diagnosed then.
Yeah.
So it's just anything that would trigger it, I would run away from it. So
did you ever think like, I'm sure you were like, why am I feeling this way? Or like, why, I guess it was easier to just not face it, right?
For sure.
Than try to figure out like what the why is always like a scary question.
I think it's also hard to tell South Asian parents that are also very traditional. I'm dealing with my brain and this is happening. How do I explain that to someone who thinks it's mind over matter?
And how did your parents, like when you said you told your mom?
Actually, surprisingly, my mom, she was very supportive. She was more upset. She's like, why is this happening to you? Yeah. So she was telling me to go to a psychiatrist, psychologist. She was helping me. She was very supportive of me. She wanted me to get as much help. She played a huge role in my life, though, to recover this. She made me go back to school. Aww. I was running away from schools. She's like, okay, you just graduated from high school. There's a high school here, and you could go back.
Yeah.
So it was just, and it's September, just do a few more courses, and then from there, she forced me to go into college, and I did early childhood education there.
Yeah. ECE.
Yes, and I was surprised, but our school system, especially like in Canada, there's a lot of support here. If I'm scared of the classrooms and all that, if I'm feeling claustrophobic, there's so much support. I can talk to my teachers. They have accessible services. They give you accommodations. There's a lot of support, and they offer counseling as well.
I'm shocked. I didn't know that.
Yeah, even throughout university. I know you've had that too.
I still do, yes. Yeah, because
like her exam times can be a little longer due to that and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I was set that I do want to recover. That was my mindset, and I wanted to do it without medication. Because I was on medication for a little bit, but they have way too many side effects.
So before like you get to the medication part, because I'm very curious to hear more about that.
Yeah.
How did you, so you said like for a long time you weren't officially diagnosed. Yeah. So how did you officially get diagnosed?
There were times where I'm like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I went to walk-in clinics. I went to a walk-in clinic just in Ajax, and I got a new doctor, and she diagnosed me.
Okay.
And they referred me to some psychiatrists, some help. And then what I was getting from that was medication.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was leading towards.
Yeah.
It was all leading towards medication.
And even then, did you try medication?
I did.
Okay.
I tried some medication, but there were way too many side effects.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like these side effects. I don't know. They were giving me like headaches and stuff. So I'm like, I can't do medication.
And you can't take medication for the rest of your life.
No, you can't.
Right?
Especially when you're so young.
And with this one, like I thought my life was gonna be over. Like when stuff like this was happening, I thought it was gonna be over because I only have a high school diploma. I'm not working.
Yeah.
What now? I'm scared to go to school, and I'm scared to be around like people I'm not familiar with. I'm getting panic attacks everywhere. My life's over.
Yeah.
That's how I actually started to feel.
Yeah.
And I cannot live in with my parents for the rest of my life. Like it's not like that, you know?
Yeah.
That's not the life I want. So I thought it was over at that point. But going back to school played a huge role in helping me. To school, and there was so much support there. I studied early childhood education, and I finished it in a year and a half. Finishing it wasn't, it was a little bit of a struggle at the beginning because I couldn't sit in the classrooms, write tests and exams with the other students. I would freak out. It wasn't test anxiety. It was more of the claustrophobia that, oh my gosh, I can't leave this room until I'm done the exam.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was a presentation. I couldn't do presentation in front of people. I thought I was going to faint. So teachers would let me slide, which means I was running away from it.
Mm-hmm.
One teacher's like, no, I can't. You have to present. I was like, I can't present. They're like, I'm going to fail you then. She messed up there hard, but that was my road to recovery.
Oh,
that's good.
So we had a huge meeting with basically the program and the counselor, and they made it turn in a way that the teacher wanted me to overcome it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let's take it that way. And the counselors, they started helping me. Eventually, I started getting bored of the counseling, you know, but I was so dedicated to recovering.
Yeah.
But eventually, the counseling, it did help. I had a really good counselor. I still remember her name till today. But yeah, so we did the presentation. It was successful. And what I learned from that presentation moving forward to just keep going. Every time there's a presentation, just go. If they have a volunteer, you need to put your hand up. You got to answer any questions. Just go. Just do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm going to be honest. After the pandemic, one thing I have to say is, and I should try this, being on Zoom and now being on like showing your face and now having to talk and present to company organizations at work, I feel intimidated now and I feel shy again. And that's very odd for me because I never have felt that way. But being out of like the eye of public has really impacted me this last year and a half, because now when I am presenting, I'm catching myself to become very nervous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not who I used to be. What's happening here? And then you realize because you're not doing it as often.
Yeah.
So definitely, I agree with that.
But that's amazing. I feel like it was like the first step to
recovering.
To recovery.
Huge.
And I always say like it's about how much you put in. Like you're never going to be able to do anything if you don't do it yourself or take that step. So it's good that you were like, okay, now like I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start putting up my hand. I'm going to start doing, you know.
Just small things, you know. Just like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, for sure. So that's how I went back to school.
So you went into ECE though. And then I remember you hated daycare because you were at a daycare. I think that's when I met you.
Yeah, so I met Alysha when I had just recovered. Now, anxiety, because it took up at least like 2 years of my life. I had lost all my social skills because I stopped going out.
Yeah.
And I was a little shy. I was quiet. But, and I finished school though, so I was proud. I got my diploma. I started working when I was only like 20 years old though.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I have more to me. So then next I'm like, let me try a different career, you know. That's when nursing, I'm like, let me give nursing a try. and I got into nursing. I didn't know if I had the potential to be a nurse because I hear stuff like, oh, needles, blood, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that I actually loved all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I love dealing with the intensity, you know?
You also have the patience to deal with these patients and stuff.
Yeah.
She's
and maybe
really good with
you are like super patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe like a part of you was like, you know, you got help and now you're in a position to kind
That's
of
a good
help
point.
others.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's very much true.
Yes.
Because you do relate to a lot of people in that sense too. You feel for them.
So this field was like perfect for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's my time to help people. So I got into nursing, and I also met Alysha. And at the same time, so Alysha, like,
and you guys know me, I come in with the first
she is so strong, like a strong woman who plays a really important part in my life. Like, she's taught me how to build my image, you know, taught me to be more confident, like even more confident now. You know, she's encouraged me to not leave my house, but go out, meet people, talk to people.
That is true. I can see,
you know,
you playing
that role. Because when I met her, I was like, what, you're 20? Like, what are you doing on a Friday night at home?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like when we met, like, you did tell me, like, she's at home on Friday night.
I was like, no.
Doesn't go out.
And, like, when I met her, I'm like, she's so beautiful. She's so exotic looking. Like, what a waste of sitting at home. So I was like, you need to get out. And I know, like, having two brothers was really intimidating for you. But, like,
with you not having a sister either. And it's kind of like you guys found a sister in each
definitely,
other. Right?
Yes, yeah. She even taught me how to dress and put on makeup, you know?
Yeah.
So,
it was fun.
Alicia has a voice and she will use it.
Yeah, I will, for sure. I knew, you know what, when you meet people, you can kind of tell when they need that, right? And I felt like she was kind of undershadowed, right? And she had so much to offer to the world. And I was like, why is it hiding?
Yeah.
And like Amit can be very strong too in this family. He's pretty bright.
Yeah.
And I felt like, you know, being the firstborn and like Amit's very loud and, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And like everyone else doesn't get to have that strong voice in this family. So when I met Rimpy, I was like, yo, you could do so much.
Yeah.
And then I remember having a talk with Amit when I had, like, we were dating and, you know, I first just met the family. I was like, he's like, yeah, she can't go out. Like, that's not acceptable, this and that. I'm like, okay, can we have a talk here? Let's rearrange the talk here. I'm like, let me explain something to you. I'm someone's sister. And yet here I am with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't do that to her. That is your younger sister. She's in her 20s. She's going to date. She's
like,
going to meet someone.
Like, overprotective brothers.
Yeah. Are you going to either be part of the conversation or are you going to be the person she lies to?
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, shit, you're right. And I'm like, let's be her friend.
Yeah.
Be her friend. Don't make her fear you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when your relationship had changed with him too. That now you guys can tell each other not everything, but you know, everything. But yeah, like I feel like that's where Rimpy felt like she could go out and she started to. And I was really happy for her. She was out living her best fucking life.
I know. I was like 21 and I'm like in a program that's so interesting, and then I have Alysha in my life who's really like pumped me up. I'm really happy and I'm really excited, you know, like what the future has like held now and from what I had came through. So I'm really pumped up and excited.
Yeah. And did you open up to Alysha right at the beginning about like your past and your disorder?
You know what? Regarding the disorder, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Like the first day I met her, I remember we went to Brampton. So we went to Brampton. We were like having a drink. Yeah. You know? And it was
oh yeah, Rimpy had her first drink.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I guess I introduced her to.
It was
at 21.
Yeah, Caesar. But do you know what we got her hooked on?
What?
Tequila.
Yeah. You're tequila woman.
And then Malibu.
I know. Yeah, it was that's how comfortable I got with her on my first day. Like, you know, I like traveled.
We just connected.
Yeah, connected so well. And
that's
then
awesome.
Yeah.
I opened up more as time went on, and then comes the dating life. Yeah. I asked her, I'm like, yo, where do I meet people?
You know? I remember, and I was like, she's so innocent. So I corrupted her.
Now, like hearing your backstory, it makes sense why you didn't like do. You know, you didn't feel comfortable going out. You didn't want to go do these things and stuff like that. So it's like, how do you get that experience at that young age when you're supposed to be young, wild, and free, kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you kind of came in and were like, let's drink, bitch.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, no, she needs to like enjoy her life, and you know, and that I always wanted her to be part of mine and Amit's life as we like. I knew that Amit was going to be the one I was going to be with. That's why I was meeting the family, but I also knew she had so much to do in her life that she didn't get to do. So when she did open up to me, you know, I always learn something about Rimpy, or Rimpy always teaches me something till this day, even though she's younger than me. And that's what I love about her. She teaches me to be patient, or, you know, if I say something and I don't get the reaction I would get from you, or like my mom, and you guys are used to me.
Yeah.
Rimpy took a little time to get to used to that other side of Alysha.
Yeah.
You know, like that Alysha. And that's where I had to learn that, okay, Alysha, not everyone is going to take your bullshit. So, you know, and I had to learn that, and I wanted her to be part of my life. So I was like, okay, I have to make some changes too. And I did. I started to evolve and change. And, you know, we did the transparency talk too. We said, you know, always let's be transparent with one another, because it's hard, you know. And Rimpy is one who tends to bottle it up inside if she's hurting, and she loves you because she thinks if she tells you, she's going to hurt you more. So that she's very caring and sweet that way, that she doesn't want to hurt the other person. But you know, I think you've become very confident and very vocal about your feelings, and that's something that's huge, because you know, to all those that are out there listening, don't bottle it up, especially if it's someone you care about. Tell them how you feel. But it can save the relationship.
It can, but I get it. I get why it's hard, because I'm like that person, right? That like also rather sometimes I keep it in, because I'll be like, no, like I know how this person is, and like, you know, so but
sometimes it might surprise you.
It's true, but it is, I have to say, easier said than done. Sometimes it gives you more anxiety thinking about telling someone than to just like not do it at all. Like I feel like I would get more anxiety.
For sure, I get that, and I guess you know what it means then like someone like me, if I'm on the other end, I have to be more open to hearing your feedback. Because if I'm not and my doors are closed, then I see where that can escalate.
Some people
But no, definitely. I'm so proud of Rimpy today. Amin and I look at her and we're just like boggled by how much she's done. And, you know, she's such a well-rounded individual. She's worked so hard in her life. But I'll let you tell them.
So, basically finished practical. We were at practical nursing.
Amazing.
I finished that. Yes, I finished that. And then...
Should I be like an Indian auntie and be like, now what? Where's the marriage?
You did PWC.
Where's the husband? Because that's what the auntie would ask. No.
I'm thinking of HR. Sorry, what is it?
Practical nursing.
No, but after that, what was that role you did when you were mobile as a nurse throughout the summer?
That's practical nursing. Oh, PSW.
PSW.
Oh, okay. But you went into that job while you were gaining your experience, and then...
Actually, no, I was doing business with my brothers.
Oh, yeah, you were doing that too. So,
that's
also
what I was
part-time
doing.
helps out her brother do his business too. She's like his admin throughout the summer and stuff.
Yeah.
Should I be the Indian typical auntie now and be like, okay, Rimpy, now you're done school, you have your job, like, where's the husband?
Actually, I decided to change my career again because I just kept on seeing more potential coming my way, you know. So I finished, practical nursing, and then I went to business with my brothers.
Well,
I was dating at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's just my mind, I wasn't there yet, you know. So I didn't give it too much attention. But I went to business with my brothers, and then decided to change my career again a little bit. I started to fly. I
she
did flying.
Tried to do piloting as well.
No way! I was thinking like metaphorically, like I tried to fly.
No, but she, literally.
We have the Durham Flight Center, like 20 minutes away from my house. I walked in and we flew to the CN Tower and back. And the guy's like, do you want to get your license? And I'm like, sure. So I joined ground school. I used to go every Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. So from being like fully claustrophobic at one point.
Being in a small plane.
In a small plane and flying in the air.
It's kind of metaphorically beautiful.
Yeah. It was interesting. That's still on. That can take time though. Like I still have to do my hours in the air. But I finished all my hours on the ground.
Nice.
Yes.
On the ground. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing because I actually don't know any like women pilots.
Neither do I.
Right?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that
really
she wanted
cool.
to do that.
Like do it one day. Just go for a ride.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool. Like imagine one day, hey, to all my friends, guys, let's go to Montreal.
Yeah.
And with my private pilot license, I can fit 6 people in the back.
Yeah.
You know?
She's all
love
about
that.
like
Yeah.
partying it up and how she could get there now. So like, this is where it corrupted her.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
that's still the hours in the air are still pending, but then after that I wanted to go back into nursing. To get my RN license because I wanted more intensity.
Yeah.
Now, like more intensity,
more
responsibility,
and more power.
I feel like
more
you're
power,
going-
more power.
But this is so amazing because it's like, I feel like now the stage that you are in life,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I'm gonna go hard or go home.
Literally,
Yeah,
what she's
yeah.
done in her 20s.
I mean, we're like at home, but like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, right? But
Yeah.
but that's amazing. It feels like a complete 180 from being like the type of person being like, I'm not gonna go out and do anything, and what am I gonna do with my life? To being like, I can do anything. Like the fact, usually people, you know, get scared when they want to change careers because they're like, oh, but I've spent this much amount of time like doing this. Like, what am I gonna do? Not pursue it. But you, like, being the person that's like, I don't feel like this is my calling yet. I feel like there's something bigger out there for me.
Missing.
And you know you're young. You know you have time. There's no... And that's the thing. Like, I feel like most people are scared to switch careers because there's just, like, scared of time.
Unknown.
But they don't understand, like, you're still young. You have so much time left, right?
Exactly.
And you can do that. And it's better to kind of spend time and finding your calling than, you know, spending your life being miserable doing what you are not happy doing.
100% I agree.
Yeah.
Like at least she can say she tried it all and then she knows what she really wanted, and look, it brought her back to nursing. And that's where you're now pursuing RN, which is great.
And I could always go back too, like if I want. I missed EC or something. I have my license.
Well,
you know,
we all trust her with kids. So.
Babysitter
for life.
Whatever, guys. But I was good at it. I know.
You are. You are very thorough.
And you do have your, like, you are pursuing a new side business now for Universe Glow.
Yes.
And this is another, like, great passion that you're really passionate about. I can sense the energy and the excitement.
We're going to link Rimpy's Instagram page below so you can check it out in our description. But as we're talking, she's actually, why don't you tell us what you're holding?
So if you, like, hear some clicking, these are actually my stones I'm holding. One is a tiger eye for confidence, which I kind of needed a little bit to like do this podcast. And then the other one was is a rose quartz stone. It's the stone of emotions. I thought I was gonna get a little emotional when I talk about anxiety, but no, these stones they kept me really strong.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
Yeah. So my Instagram is called Universe Glow. This is a bit of a side business on healing crystals that I just started a few months ago, and Alysha really inspired me to start this, the healing crystals, because it's like I talk about the crystals, but I wasn't ever business minded, you know. Alysha's very business minded, and everything, you know, she's like, turn this into a business, you know, and that's how Universe Glow was developed. So this is going on at the same time as I'm trying to get my RN license.
Yeah, so she's been doing great. She showed all the stones, which ones that were important to her, that she wanted to advocate to the world so they can also relate. And it's all about healing. Like, you know, you've talked about anxiety and you've had things that have, you know,
and that's what I was gonna ask is healing crystal, because it seems like it's not something you just woke up and was like, oh, I'm gonna start selling healing crystals. It seems like it sounds like something you have been using throughout your life as
like
well.
Like a coping mechanism.
Yes.
Does it help? How does it help? How did you get started?
So these crystals, some people might say it's like a belief. It's not a belief. It's energy. These stones, they come from all over the world. Some you can't find in specific parts of the world. They're made with their own pressure, own frequency, at their own temperature. That's why certain crystals like the rose quartz you can only find in like Brazil or Africa. And they're stable energy. And sometimes, you know, as humans, we need them because we're not stable energy.
Yeah.
We all get sad, upset. And the purpose of these stones is to balance out your energy. So because of the pandemic, I had some anxiety symptoms that slowly started crawling back. And that's why now I wear I started wearing the hematite bracelet, and this is the one to prevent anxiety attacks and panic attacks and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, like this has really helped me, and I would rather use healing crystals than medication.
That's
100%.
amazing.
I believe with you.
Yes.
I'm spiritual too, so I definitely believe in the natural over.
And you
medicine.
wouldn't continue to use it if it wasn't working for you. So
Exactly.
obviously it is doing something for you.
But it's a belief too, right? Like, so you have to believe in it. And, like, you have to believe in the energies and the universe because it's all tied in together. Like, you know, Rimpy and I have learned so much through this path because we've learned that, like, okay, new moons or full moons mean you need to charge your crystals. Or, like, you need to wash them, or you need to know that when there's bad energy, then sometimes some things are not meant to be with the crystal. So they have their own... Like,
interesting.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, so
I hear about the tiger. I don't know too much about it, but I feel like that's a
one of
very
her favorite
that's a
ones.
very popular one.
She loves the tiger eye.
Yeah, sometimes you need it's the stone of willpower and confidence. Sometimes I'm holding it when I have to sit and write an essay.
Yeah.
You know, I need that willpower to sit down and write like a 10-page essay, so I'll just hold the stone. You know, one of my friends was struggling with her job, and she wants to like stand out at her job, so she asked me for a tiger eye necklace.
Nice.
And I've heard such good feedback from her. She's like, honestly,
Amazing.
Rimpy, it just makes me feel confident from the inside when I'm wearing it.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So I'm very thankful that this business also has come into my life because it's another way of helping other people heal.
Exactly.
And I kind of wish I knew about this when I was like 18 or 19. But you know, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
It's learning process.
Exactly.
100%.
If you didn't go through what you didn't go through, you wouldn't be the person you are today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you still get phobias? Do you still get, well, I know you said like with the pandemic, you know, and was it because you were staying home more often? And like what Alysha said, like not going out and getting used to kind of like being in front of people again.
Yes. So I felt like sitting at home with this pandemic, like I'm always at home, and because I'm getting my RN license, I'm full-time studying. So one essay after the other, one exam, one test after the other. So my eyes are glued onto the computer. It's really hard to leave the house.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy studying from online. So I kind of felt that I was slowly losing my social skills again. And I can feel these panic attacks and anxiety slowly crawling back because I can relate to the symptoms. They're similar to what I felt when I was 18, 19, but this time I know what it is. And I've learned to distract myself. And that's how I'm going to solve it. And that's why now I will not let it take over at all. I'll take over again. And I'm also testing out like my crystals too. Like, and they do work. They have calmed me down.
They have. I've even noticed that.
Yes.
There's a huge change in her. And I think one of the biggest things that Rimpy said is that like she started to not like know ahead of time of her before patterns. And so before they start going full on her, she knows to get quick and grab it. And I'll get phone calls from you that you're saying that like, you know, I'm feeling this way, and like we brainstorm, or, you know, tell you go for a walk or something, and you will do something that makes you feel good about yourself.
Exactly.
But I think that's really good that you're able to identify that and like
identify and like actually take action, because like if you are in a like just say something else in your life isn't going right, it can be easy to get consumed in your emotions and let it take over you. And depending on like if you had like something unrelated not going well for you or something like that, then you can easily go to a dark place, right?
100%.
But I feel like that's like what Alysha said, it's amazing that you are able to identify the symptoms now. And now it's just something like, I know it's happening, and you know, like what do I now it's like, what am I going to do to fix it, or like what am I going to do to correct that?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so on another note, you're 28, and we know mom and dad are like on your
I just heard about one downstairs.
Yeah, the rishtas are coming, so there's like you know, people want to marry Rimpy, and Rimpy's like, go away.
Is there pressure?
Yeah. How do you feel? Like, I know you're very young and independent, which I love about you, and I'm always trying to explain that to mom, because I think it's so important. And we said this in our last podcast, that women should be able to hold themselves financially. And I know you want to be able to do that because you don't want a man buying you stuff. You want to buy that Corvette yourself, which I think is very admirable.
Yeah.
So how are you handling that pressure?
Sometimes you pressurize me too,
I know. Well, listen,
you said to me
I'm taking full, like, I've told mom and dad, like, listen, I got this, okay? Like, I promise you, let her have her fun, and she will settle down. You and I had to have that talk, remember?
You know what she said to me? She's
what? I want to hear this. No, Alysha, I want to hear this.
She's like, do you think your life is going to be over if you get married?
Oh my God.
That's why I said to her, because I was like, I'm a little concerned now. Like, this was a few years ago, I told you to live your life, and now we're here, and I'm getting a little concerned. So, let me remind you, I took full responsibility for this situation, that I had this under control. Can you just promise me that you're going to get married? She's like, yeah, I promise. She's like, it's not, she's right. She hasn't met the person that she wants to marry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. And I know you want to do a lot before that because you are very independent. I keep reminding her, but you can be independent within your relationship like I am.
Yeah.
Amit and I are 50-50.
Yeah.
And I love that about us. He's let me be my person. He's let me grow and start businesses as well.
Yeah.
He hasn't held me back, and you won't do
But
that
is
either.
that what's stopping you right now?
Nothing.
Or are you open to like
Oh,
suggestions?
she's still dating.
Yeah, like nothing is stopping me. It'll just when it happens, it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I haven't
Until
shut
you're
any
like
doors
32, then you're like,
Yeah.
it's not whatever
Then
happens.
I'm in trouble.
Happens.
If it goes that far, then I'm definitely in
Yeah, I
trouble.
got lots of time still. So
Yeah, okay,
you know.
see, that's the other problem.
No, I do. I have lots of time. Okay, don't.
She does
Yeah.
have lots of time,
Yeah.
but I can see, like I said, I just heard your mom mention the
Yeah.
guy downstairs, so I'm
You know
sure,
what,
like,
our mom, I feel like our mom is just bored, and she needs to plan something. Let's be honest.
Rimpy's wedding.
Yeah, she just needs something like to look forward to, and I think she just wants to know her kids are settled and good,
Yeah.
right?
Like, it's understandable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for a parent.
I still feel like Rimpy's so young. She's still, she's. I told her you need to learn to date in order to know what type of person you even want to marry.
Yeah.
And I would give the same advice to my daughter. Like, you need to know what's out there. You can't just, like, go and marry the first guy you meet.
Yeah.
If you marry the first guy you meet, then honestly, it works for some people. And for some, like, that are
They
vibrant
settle.
colored people,
Yeah.
they know they settled. And they
Yeah.
need that experience to know that, like, honestly, there's probably something else out there.
Yeah.
Like,
But how
Rimpy.
was dating in the pandemic? With, like, not being able to go out and actually even meet somebody?
So it has been a little halted though, because it's like I don't get to do what I want to do. I love going out to like restaurants,
Patios,
bars,
having a drink.
casino and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Ajax
So-
Casino.
she
There's
loves
one
it.
behind
my
on the way.
house. Yeah, I just felt like with the casino, there's a restaurant in there, and it's like if you're
Nice
a
date
little,
idea.
It's really nice, actually. It's a nice casino.
I've been there, I
We've
think.
done
Yeah.
some family nights there.
Yeah.
When Amit and I were staying here.
Nice.
It's nice. It's a
Yeah.
fancy little place.
When we had
so-
nothing else to do, we were like, oh, let's go to Ajax Casino.
Yeah. So, it's just slightly like a little halted right now because I want the pandemic to be over.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's when we can all start going out again.
Exactly.
You know, 'cause
we have so
dating,
many
it's
travel
fun. Yeah.
plans. Rimpy and I. Rimpy's gone to Vegas with me, so we're like,
Oh.
we need to go back to traveling again.
Cancun, Vegas,
Yeah, we
everywhere.
miss everything.
You know.
Well, thank you so much, Rimpy, for sharing that with us. I know it probably wasn't easy, and if you guys can't see us, but Rimpy does have her stones in her hands, as you
Yeah.
can like see, and it is really helping her.
Yeah.
So we will leave the link to her business, Universe Glow, down
In our
below.
description. Check it out. If you
Yeah.
need some healing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're somebody that kind of struggles with anxiety and stress and, and like we all do, right? We all
Yeah.
deal with anxiety and stress. And like for some of us, it is worse,
Yeah.
like Rimpy experienced. And for some of us, it's not. But like either whether it is a big thing or not, like we don't want to take that medication road, right?
Take the naturopathic
There
way.
is a naturopathic way. So this is like one thing. Like I definitely want to try it out.
For
Like the
sure.
crystals. It's been I'm
Because you
not.
and I are always talking about how are we going to handle our stress, right?
Yeah.
Like we have in past podcasts. And, I think it's like, what should we do now? What should we try now?
Yeah, and there's up and down days, and obviously, I definitely want to try it. I know my sister-in-law, like she's into stones and stuff like that so much.
Oh.
Have you not seen her hands?
Yeah,
like
I
she
did
wears
notice that they were
she
recording.
wears so like each stone like
Yeah.
represents something different, and
Yeah.
she's like, I don't care what people say. She's like, I'm gonna wear my stones. Like
Good
I don't
for
care.
her.
So she's a really big believer in that as well, and she does believe it helps her. So I definitely think I'm gonna give it a shot as well.
For sure, you should.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Rimpy, for sharing your story
Yeah.
with us. I
Thanks
know
for
it
having
wasn't
me,
easy.
guys. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Yeah. We're so proud of you.
Thanks.
If you are not following us on our social media, please check us out on our Instagram page and our YouTube at Level Up with Raman and Alysha. We'll leave the link below. And as always, if you have a personal story, a question, a comment, or suggestion, kind of anything that you would like to hear us talk about, you can email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com.
Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great Girl Boss Day.
Woohoo!